Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to the channel. So although Christmas is officially over for 2020, I still want to look back on my Christmas Day and my Christmas Eve pickups and share with you guys everything that I was fortunate enough to find and receive this Christmas season. So I was out at my parents' house for the holiday and I decided, you know what, there's a second in Charles out there that I haven't been to in a while. So I want to check that out. And so I did, and I found so much stuff. So I'm going to talk to you about everything I found there, including like a handful of free items, which the free bin was absolutely packed this time. So I got a ton of stuff there. And Christmas Day, my family hooked me up like they always do. I am so very fortunate. So I just want to share with you guys everything that I picked up on both Christmas Eve and all the gifts I received on Christmas Day. So there is a ton to talk about today. So let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right in. Let's start off with my Second and Charles trip on Christmas Eve. So lately when I've been going to Second and Charles, their free bin has been almost empty. There hasn't been much in there. But Christmas Eve, it was absolutely packed. So I got very lucky and was able to go through everything. And I did find a handful of things. But the very first thing that caught my attention was this wooden crate. I'm like, what is this wooden box? Well, turns out it was filled with cassette tapes. So not only did someone put this wooden crate in there, but they also loaded it with these cassette tapes. So I actually bought a cassette player like last year, I believe, around this time last year, and I've still never used it, but because I have like virtually no cassette tapes. But now I have a nice stack. So you can see down here, there's a ton of Tony Bennett. But up top here is where it's very interesting. So we have Steely Dan, Aja or Aja, however you say that, which honestly is not my favorite Steely Dan album. It's a little bit more jazzy, more bluesy. Jazzy, not bluesy. Than I like, I guess. I don't know. It was okay, but I like their other album a lot better. And then we have Sade, I believe is how you say her name, who is just has one of the most beautiful voices out there. 2 albums from her. It is Stronger Than Pride and then Promise. And then we have, these are really cool, we have Earth, Wind and Fire. This is the Touch the World cassette tape, and then Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, which is, of course, a classic. So those are awesome. And then randomly, there is the La Bamba soundtrack, so of course I had to keep that one. There were some other ones. I didn't need those ones, so those are gone. But there is a whole bunch of Tony Bennett, and so I wanted to make sure that this was full, and so I grabbed all the leftover Tony Bennetts, which you can see them there. I won't pull those all out. And then there's like this, did I already mention this one? This Disney, the Satchmo Way, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so this was an awesome find. Like someone just, clearly they tried trading them in or selling them and they wouldn't take them. So they said, you know what? I don't want them. Let's put them in the free bin. So I took them and I cannot wait to listen to these. Such a cool find. All of these cassettes for free on Christmas Eve. It was a Christmas miracle. So cool. So I was very happy to find these in the free bin. I'll go quickly through the other 3 things I found in the free bin, and these were all books. So first up was this book called 5 Children and It by E. Nesbitt. Now, this looks like a middle grade book, but I've never heard of it before. It is a Penguins classic, so I'm sure you guys probably know what it is, but I have never heard of it. There is some underlining in here. There's actually some pictures in here too from the book itself, but whatever, it was free, so that's fine. It's still very readable. I don't know anything about this, so if you do, let me know down in the comments below. I would appreciate it. This was awesome because I love these middle grade books. This is from the American Chillers line by Jonathan Rand, and this is book number 13. What's it called? Virtual Vampires of Vermont. So these American Chillers, they go to like all the different states throughout the country, and there's some crazy, sci-fi horror story that Jonathan Rand writes about them. He also wrote like the Michigan Chillers line, which is different cities throughout the state of Michigan. These are awesome. So I've, at least the covers are awesome and the idea is awesome. I have yet to read one of these, but of course I was grabbing that from the free bin. And then finally is, the only reason I grabbed this one is because it contains, I'm dropping everything here, is because it contains a, I don't know if this is a short story or a novella, but it's from Anne Prolks, and this is Close Range, or its subtitle is Wyoming Stories, but this includes the story that inspired Brokeback Mountain. And so obviously Brokeback Mountain is a fantastic film. I've only seen it once in theaters, but I was, I really taken by it, was really blown away by it. So I definitely wanted to grab this one because I've always known it was based on either a short story or a novella, but I never read it before. So this is a perfect excuse to do that now. And it was free, so you gotta love that. So that was the free items. So all those cassettes and then these 3 books were all items I found in that free bin. There were so many more in there. There was like a John Madden book that I had in my hand, but I decided, you know what, someone else will probably actually read this, where I probably won't. So these ones I thought were ones that I would actually read. So I decided to grab these along with the cassette tapes, which I will definitely be listening to at some point this year. So very excited. Love when I find free items at Second and Charles. Can't beat that free bin. I guess I'll knock this one out of the way now because it's the only movie I found there, but this one is cool because this is one of those Mill Creek double features, and I don't have either of these movies. This was in the clearance bin for $3, so I have now Stealth and Vertical Limit. So I know that both of these aren't necessarily, you know, classic films by any stretch, but for $3, $1.50 each, I mean, I'm basically paying dollar store prices at this point, so of course I was interested, and I like these Mill Creek double features just because, I don't know, it's cheap ways to get more movies, so that's always cool. So Stealth and Vertical Limit, and like I said, this is the only movie I picked up on Christmas Eve, but I think it was a pretty fun one, at least for a double feature. I have a boatload of books here that I'm going to kind of go through rather quickly, but there are 4 I want to talk about first. So I hit the jackpot at the clearance table at Second and Charles this time, which this is the one that they always put like the majority of their novelizations and their media tie-in novels. They usually stick them for $1 on their clearance table. So these ones are media tie-in. They are not novelization, but they are based on a couple TV shows that I enjoy. And so I had to grab them. The thing is, they had like the last one was in the dollar bin, but then the first one in the series they actually had in their regular section. So I did pay $1 for 2 of these, and then I paid like $2.50 and $2.75 for the other 2. So still very cheap. But first up is CSI Miami, Florida Getaway. So the reason I was interested in these is because they are by Max Allan Collins, who wrote a handful of the original CSI books, which I have I have a ton of those, but I've not read any yet. But I figured I would collect them some more because they're media tie-in. I like that, and I really enjoy these shows. So very happy to get this one. And this is actually book 1 in the series, so I had to grab that. That was the one I paid like $2.75 for. And then from the dollar bin, I have CSI Miami, Right to Die. Now you can see the author does change at this point. This is Jeff Mariotti. So the author does change on these, unlike the original, or you know what, I think the original CSI does change as well, but later on in the series. So I believe CSI Miami is an 8-book series. So that's book 1 and book 8. And then we have CSI New York, Dead of Winter. Again, oh no, these ones are not by Max Allan Collins, although that's my bad. But I believe this one is book 1. This is written by Stuart M. Comiskey. So again, that's book 1. I think I paid $2.50 for that one. And then we have CSI New York, 4 Walls, which is written by Keith R.A. DiCandido. So if I'm right and this is book 1, then this would be book, I believe it's book like 5 or 6, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly, but this is a shorter series than the original CSI and CSI Miami, a shorter book series. So yeah, I am very excited to have these. Like, I've been wanting to get these for the longest time. And so when they appeared or half of them appeared in the dollar bin, of course I was going to get them. So very thrilled to have these 4 in the collection from the CSI Miami series and CSI New York. They'll go right alongside my original CSI book. So very cool. So 10 of the next 11 books that I'm going to show you, I only paid $1 for. There is one that I paid like sticker price for, which is only $1.95, so that's fine. But these are all novelizations and or media tie-in. And so I'm just going to kind of rapid fire through these because they are, I don't have too terribly much to say about them. They're novelizations, so if you know the movie, you know what the book's about. So first up, this is the only one that I paid like cover price for, which was $1.95. This is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So this is actually credited to Steven Spielberg, but I don't know if it was actually written by him or not. I have a feeling it might be like the George Lucas writing Star Wars A New Hope situation where it was actually ghostwritten by Alan Dean Foster. I meant to look this up, but I never got around to it, and I couldn't find anything in like the credits on the inside that listed another writer at all, so I don't know. Let me know down below if you are aware. But first one was Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which honestly, I don't like the movie. I watched it once, really disliked it, and then that was it. I moved on. But hey, maybe if I give the novelization a shot, I can give the movie a second chance. Maybe I'll enjoy it more. Who knows? Excuse me, I'm dropping things. And then, this was such a cool find. So, The Good Son. And this one was written by Todd Strasser. So you can see Macaulay Culkin on the cover here. It also stars Elijah Wood. So Elijah Wood is kind of like the good boy. Macaulay Culkin is kind of this evil kid. And Macaulay Culkin's character is going to like live with its family of some sort, I believe. And he's doing all these bad things, but the good boy is getting blamed for it. And it gets creepier and darker as the film goes on. Highly recommended if you've not seen it. So super excited to find the novelization of this one. This is awesome. And then, continuing on with good old Macaulay Culkin, we have a 2-pack here. These are both written by, Patricia Hermes. We have My Girl and My Girl 2 novelizations. Yes, this is really cool. I'll be honest, I used to watch these when I was younger, not the biggest fan of it, but my wife really likes these movies, so I figured I would give the novelizations a shot, and then we could watch the movies again, or vice versa. It's just fun to have in the collection, even if I never actually get around to them. But My Girl and My Girl 2, never seen these one in the store before, so I thought that was pretty cool. Drop those there. This is pretty cool too. So this is the Avengers. Now this is not the Marvel Cinematic Universe Avengers. This is Avengers that has Uma Thurman in it. And who is this other? I don't know who the actor. He looks familiar, but Ralph Fiennes is in that. Okay, that's who that is. Duh. But yeah. So this is I believe it's based on like a British TV show from the 60s. I could be wrong. I didn't do my research, but I believe that's what it is. So I figured I would check it out. And this is now a DVD that I have to pick up because I don't even know if it's on Blu-ray. I don't need it on Blu-ray. I'm hoping I can find it at Disc Replay for like $1.50 and move on just so I have it in my collection. But The Avengers, and this one was written by Julie Kayworth. So really cool to have that one in the collection. And then we have Ghost Rider, and this one was written by Greg Cox, who wrote a lot of superhero novelizations, and so this of course is a Marvel universe, not Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it is from Marvel, and it's the Ghost Rider film with Nicolas Cage, so should be pretty cool. Greg Cox obviously has he's well known in the novelization world, so that's always good. This is really cool too. I know I keep saying that, but I mean, come on. Sudden Death, the novelization for Jean-Claude Van Damme's Sudden Death. You gotta love that. And this one is written by Stephen Mertz. So this is really cool. I actually have never seen this, and I need to, because it takes place at a hockey game. And I think like the bomb goes off when the game ends. It's like game 7, like of the finals or something. I don't know. Like it just sounds amazing and something that I'm sure I will enjoy. So Sudden Death by Stephen Mertz will definitely be one I get to at some point. Then I found The Mask of Zorro, and this one is written by James Lucino. So this is the sequel to Zorro. Have actually never seen either of these movies, but I figured the novelization would be a fun one to have in the collection. And then we have, I love the original of this movie. It's one of my favorite scripts ever. I think it's one of the smartest scripts ever written. But then we have The Taking of Pelham 123, written by John Godey. And this one is a novelization of the remake. So I've not actually watched the remake yet. So I'm very intrigued to watch that and then check out this book. And then we have, this is awesome, another one I have to get on DVD, but we have Steve Austin in The Condemned. So this is so cool. Novelization by Rob Hedden, and this is just a WWE film starring Stone Cold Steve Austin. So if you guys watched some of my Dollar Tree pickups recently, you know that I did grab, I think it was like I forget, the Knockout maybe that has Stone Cold in it. I have been trying to find more of his movies, so this is a good step in my Stone Cold Steve Austin film direction, so that's always fun. So I thought that was a cool find. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to show from my Second and Charles run, this is not a novelization, but it is media tie-in. This is an Indiana Jones book. So this one is Indiana Jones in the Genesis Deluge. So this is written by Rob McGregor. So let me see. There are a bunch in this Indiana Jones series. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is book 4, because there's 3 listed there. So this might be book 4 in that series. I don't know. I haven't added it to my collection yet to find, or to, look up that number yet, but I will eventually. So this is awesome. Like, I've never read any of the Indiana Jones movies, and frankly, I've only seen the very first Indiana Jones film. Oh, that's not true. I did see the 4th one in theaters before I'd seen anything. I liked it. Shoot me. I don't know. I thought it was fun. Again, having no experience with the character prior to that, I enjoyed it. So I definitely need to get to this series in 2021, just because it's one that I need to have seen and I just haven't yet. So I figured this would be cool to add to the collection, especially because it was only $1. So many novelizations, so many media tie-in books, which is just my favorite thing to collect. That and middle grade are probably my favorites. But yeah, so that's everything I got on Christmas Eve. And that's everything I bought myself. So now let's talk about the gifts I received on Christmas Day. And I was super fortunate. So let's jump over to that now. All of these gifts came from my immediate family, be it them my parents or my sister and her boyfriend, so they did a great job. Let me start by showing a couple of the shirts I got this year. So first up we have, if you guys can see that, this is actually a Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War shirt. The shirt is awesome. Unfortunately, I still cannot play the game, so there's that one. And then my sister got me one of my favorite types of shirts, these horror themed shirts. I love these so much. I was actually wearing a different one that was very similar to this the day I got this, because I wear horror shirts on Christmas. That's just the way it goes. But this is so cool. So you have like the kind of like anime style at the top with the more realistic version on the bottom. Such a cool shirt. Like, these shirts are great. I love nerdy shirts, and these are just that. So love those. Speaking of awesome nerdy things that my sister got. So I'm going to show you guys the picture right now. So she had this picture made of me, my wife, and my baby girl, and it's in the style of Bob's Burgers. So I know she did this for her boyfriend. I think it was last year for Christmas, but he's a huge Simpsons fan. And so they Simpsonized him and her on this picture. This year, she did it for us in Bob's Burgers, which is one of my all-time favorite animated shows. So this was just like the perfect gift. It looks amazing. I think Bob, like the male character in there, who's supposed to be me, I think he looks so much like me. That's awesome. My little girl loves doing the thumbs up, so she's doing that in the picture. This is just such an awesome and thoughtful gift. What did I get them? A food processor and gift cards, because that's how I roll. So she definitely, you know, him and her both, my sister and her boyfriend, definitely won that battle this year. But just such an awesome gift. So very cool to have that. It is now sitting right up in my living room, right front and center on my entertainment center, because it's just such an awesome picture. Sticking with the gifts from them, the other thing I got from them was this book called Fantasy Life, written by Matthew Barry. So if you guys follow me on my personal Twitter feed, you might know that I'm a huge fantasy football guy. I love it. I always say fantasy football is 90% luck and 10% paying attention. And I am just losing now. Like, I won back-to-back in my fantasy football league the last 2 years. This year, unfortunately, I went 12-1, which was amazing, and then my team fell apart in the playoffs, so many injuries. So I will actually finish 4th this year, which is super disappointing, but hey, I still didn't lose any money, so you gotta love that. But Matthew Barry is like the fantasy football guru, and this is his book. So my sister's boyfriend I don't know if he actually read this or he's just read about it, but he's heard a lot of great things, and it sounds awesome. So I am very much looking forward to checking this one out next year, hopefully before the new fantasy football season begins, but this is cool. So I was super thankful for this. Obviously, I'm a huge book guy and I love fantasy football. Like, just very thoughtful gifts from my sister and her boyfriend, as always. So this was really cool. And then the last thing they got was actually something not for me, but for my wife, but she's a big fan of Disney, and so they got her the Mulan Riding Con. This is awesome. This is from the Pop Rides figures. So this one will not go in my normal Pop area. This is going to go on our 4K shelves in our bedroom, just so we can see it more frequently, or she can see it more frequently. But this is such a cool Pop figure. I'd never even seen this one before, but this is awesome. So this one, though it's not mine, it's still going to go on our media shelf. So I had to share it with you guys. Very cool. Mulan Riding Con. And that's all the gifts that I got from my sister and her boyfriend. So now let's talk about the gifts from my parents. So just to set this up a little bit, the big gift from my parents was one for my wife and I both. It was to finish off our living room set. We bought a new couch recently, and so they bought us the chair to go along with it. So that was awesome. I thought for sure, like, I don't need anything else. That was great. But my mom, being my mom, had to get me a couple other things. So she asked for a list of just random items that I might be interested in. And I thought for sure I was getting one item I'm going to show you, but I didn't think I was going to get anything else on top of that. But I did. And the other thing I got was Animal Crossing New Horizons. So this is a series I love. I discovered it with my sister on the GameCube. We played hundreds of hours on it, I'm sure, and then played a ton of hours on the DS as well. Now I'm sure I'm going to drop plenty of hours into the one for the Switch, which I have heard nothing but incredible things about. So super excited to open this one because I didn't expect it in the least. Like, this is awesome. Very excited to play this. I actually looked on my Switch, and I've only played my Switch for 29 total hours in 2019 and 2020 combined. So This alone, I'm guessing by the end of January, we'll have more hours on it than the last 2 years combined, but we shall see. And then the next game I got, and this is kind of the one I was expecting my mom to get because she kept asking me about it, Cyberpunk 2077, along with this is the steelbook that came with it from Best Buy. So this game has been obviously just torn apart online, but everything I read, everything I hear is that it plays best on the Xbox Series X, which is what I have, so that's where I will be playing it. So I am very much so looking forward to diving into this world. I actually just installed the game last night, have not had a chance to play it yet, but I will very shortly, and you can expect my thoughts on it in the coming weeks here when I do a wrap-up, because I am so excited to dive into the world of Cyberpunk. And then last but not least, this is one that I texted my mom before we talked about our big gift. I texted her, I was like, hey, if I buy this, do you want to get it for me for Christmas? Because she always is looking for things to get me. And she said, yeah, go for it and we'll pay you back. So I knew I was getting this one. This is the Harry Potter 8-film collection on 4K. So I have the Blu-ray set of this, but I didn't have it on 4K. And this was one that was at the very top of my 4K wish list. This and like the Dark Knight trilogy, which if you guys watch my pickup videos, you know I grabbed Dark Knight on Black Friday. So this was actually a Black Friday pickup because it was on sale. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was a Prime Day pickup because I think it was on sale for like $80, which is an incredible deal for this. It's been on sale recently, but only down to like, I think 100 is the lowest I've seen it, maybe 120, but I grabbed this for 80. So this was awesome. And again, price doesn't matter because it was a Christmas gift, but yeah, this was a great find, and I'm so excited to have this on 4K. We will absolutely be watching some of these in the coming weeks here because my wife is a huge Harry Potter fan, as am I. So excited to get back into this series and see what the 4K discs hold in store. So this was the last item that I opened up on Christmas Day. All right, so that was everything that I picked up on Christmas Eve and everything I received on Christmas Day. I just want to say thank you guys so much for making 2020 such a remarkable year for the channel here. Like, the growth has been unreal to me. Thank you so much for hitting subscribe, for just watching my videos. It means the world to me that you let me share with you guys everything that I pick up throughout the year. It is just awesome. So thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And like I always say, I don't just talk movies. I don't just talk video games. I talk books, movies, video games. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. So another huge thank you to my family. I am so very fortunate and very grateful for everything that I receive, and this year was so special, just like every other year, so I thank them so much for just always being awesome. But that is going to do it for today, guys. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.